of the things that we've been talking about is how to stoke the embers. And so Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 1, really for us gives us some empowering, an empowering origination. What I would like to do today is what we call etymology. Etymology is the study of the origin of words. And in Jeremiah 1, verse 1, that's our scripture for today. Jeremiah 1, verse 1. Everybody got that? Jeremiah 1 and 1, type it on the screen. Yes, thank you much. Here it is. It says, and I got to quote it because I don't have my stuff to read it. It says, and the word came to Jeremiah, son of Hilkiah, the priest, in Anthol, the tribe of Benjamin. It's four things that happens. Jeremiah 1 and 1. It says, and the word came to Jeremiah, who is the son of Hilkiah, the priest, who lived in or was from Anthol, that's in Benjamin. Those four things. And, you know, as we going through the series, we're doing three things, right? We are eating, we explore, we apply, and we think. Here's what I want to explore. I want to explore what all four of those words mean, the origin of those words. Jeremiah, actually, the name Jeremiah, it's a Hebrew word that means God exalts, right? It is this word picture where God grabs you and God alone lifts you up. God exalts. That's Jeremiah. God exalts. His father's name, Hilkiah. Hilkiah means God is my portion. God is my portion. God is my provision. God is my portion. It is the word picture of a person sitting down at a meal, and when it's their turn to be served, almost like those Brazilian restaurants. They bring the meat to you, and once they bring the meat to you, they carve the meat and put it on your plate. When we say Hilkiah, God is my portion, it's as if a server or God himself has come to you as a waiter. He's placed a big piece of meat on the tray, and then God cuts off what you need or what you will eat or what will be necessary to sustain you, right? Hilkiah, God is my portion. Jeremiah, God exalts. And then there is this place they're in. It's a city. It's a city or an area called Anthol, right? Anthol. Hey, good morning. Hey, Lady Wallace, good morning. Anthol. Anthol actually was a Levitical city that was given to the Levites a long time ago when Aaron was getting his land in lot. So when Aaron got his lot, Anthol was one of the places he received. And strangely enough, not only is it famous because Jeremiah lived there, but it's also famous because it was the home of two of David's mighty men. If you go back and check in 1 Kings and in Chronicles, there are these men known as David's mighty men. He had soldiers, he had armies, but then he had 30 mighty men, and then in the 30 he had another small group. But these would be like elite soldiers. These men would be our Navy SEALs, our Rangers, our Special Forces. And they were known for doing extraordinary works on David's behalf. And this city, Anthol, is where they lived. It is where they were from. It is where they trained. It was where they were born. The legacy and the heritage of this place, Anthol, was built around mighty men. And then lastly, this place, Anthol, is in the city-state, or it's in the region known as Benjamin. You guys know Benjamin. Benjamin was the youngest and 13th son of Israel. You know Israel had 12 sons and one daughter. Benjamin was the younger. And Benjamin's banner, the sign or the label that Benjamin carried had a wolf on it. You know, wolf different from the lion and the tiger. They're strong, but they're also known to be fast. They are known to be wise and keen. They're kind of in the dog family. You know, dogs are supposed to be men's best friend. So they're wild enough to be ferocious, but they're wise and keen enough to be tamed. Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin. That's what that verse means. When we look at the etymology, the word study, the original Hebrew for all of those words, Jeremiah, God exalts, and Hilkiah, God is my portion. Anthol, it's a place where mighty men are born. Benjamin, it is the last tribe, but it is a loyal tribe. That's what it means. That's what we explore. Here's how we apply it. Because whenever we talk about your passion, whenever we talk about what it is you're supposed to do, who it is you're supposed to save, what it is you're supposed to work out, I believe that just like Jeremiah, you have to remember the origin of it. Look, I know you are smart, you're wise, you know a lot, but there is no way you came up with that passion by yourself. We are this case of dirt and flesh and sinew. But whatever is within us, it has to be God ordained and God deposited. And whatever your passion is, I want to tell you today that God is the one who put it in you. Remember yesterday we talked about, a couple days ago, we talked about, looking at the world, and the things you see aren't the things everyone else sees. But you know why those things are passionate for you? You know why those things are burdens for you? It's because God has placed that in you. And if we go through the same verse and apply to us what has been applied to Jeremiah, I would submit to you that it should motivate you to go after your passion. Here's the first thing. One, that the same way that Jeremiah means God is exalted, that God will exalt. I want to tell you that God is going to exalt you. That whatever you do, your power and the strength will be that God has exalted you. Look, you got to work hard. You got to study. You're going to have to meet the right people. You're going to have to be nice. You're going to have to be humble. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be exalted, what you're going to do is going to work. If what you do is going to be meaningful, it's going to be because God exalts you. There is no amount of money that will lift you to the places God wants to take you. There are no people alone that can grab hold of you and take you to where God wants to put you. There is no level of prestige. There's no degree. Now, here's the thing. God uses all of those, and we'll talk about that later in the series. God uses all of those things, but at the end of the day, your passion is going to be powerful. Your passion is going to be successful. What you do is going to work because God is going to grab you and lift you up. Right? There's no way you can exalt yourself. You can't fly. Even with the uttermost part, even with the wings from the uttermost parts of the morning, you cannot fly. God has to exalt you, right? So I want to tell you that. I firmly believe that whatever you're passionate about, if you put it in God's hands, the same way God raises Jeremiah, God is going to exalt you. Here's the second part, application, that the same way that Jeremiah came from a guy who knew God was his portion, you're going to have to realize that every resource you need to be successful, God is going to provide for you. God is going to be your portion. That you are going to come from a place, you're going to flow from a place where God is going to provide it for you. And you got to get it. It's going to be as if you're sitting at a table, and while you're sitting at the table, God is going to start slicing off everything you need. If it's money, finances you need, God is going to give it to you. If you get stuck and don't know what else to do, strategies, they come from the Lord. If you're in a low place but you need promotion in order to access whatever's going to be necessary to promote your passion, promotion doesn't come from the east or the west. It comes from the Lord. If it's a certain person who's already doing it that you need to connect with, someone that will mentor you, that will coach you, that will build the business, build an organization, and then leave it to you as a legacy for you to pick up and carry on the way Joshua was connected to Moses, the way Elisha was connected to Elijah. God will be your portion. It's needless to say that whatever you need, God will supply it. That even in your enemy's presence, he will prepare a feast because he is your portion. That's the second thing. Here's the third thing. That like Anthol, God will put you in a place where you can do mighty things. I don't know. Maybe for some of you, like, nah, that's a stretch. But why, out of all of the places in the whole world, did Jeremiah, a priest who will become a prophet, also be in the same city as those who have already done mighty works, great men? You know, greatness isn't something that starts with you. Greatness is something that is passed down to you. Right, that we pull on oftentimes the power and the strength of our forefathers, of our ancestors. It's why we sing their hymns. It's why we read their stories. It is why the Bible is so important, because the Bible gives us a history of those who have gone before us, and then we pull on their strength. The same is true for Jeremiah. Jeremiah pulls on the strength of those mighty men who came out of Anthol, and you are going to pull off the strength of those God has placed before you, because the passion that is in you is not a new passion. It is your turn to carry out the passion that has been in others. It's your time now to pick up the stones and carry them. It's your opportunity now to grab the baton and run with it. Now is your moment. to pick up where others have left off. Last thing, like Benjamin, that loyal tribe, your passion is going to be pursued and you will be successful because God is loyal to you. Yes, we're as loyal as we can be to him. We love him. We try to connect to him. But let me tell you something. God is faithful. There is no searching to his understanding. We don't always understand why he does what he does and how he does it, but God is loyal to you. And the loyalty he has is that he will never leave you nor forsake you, nor will he ever send you to a place that he won't go with you. And without doubt, he will never ask you to do something that he himself has not already done. Look, this morning, I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with this idea that you're going to be successful because when you pursue your passion, God is going to be the one exalting you. You're going to be successful because God is going to be your portion. You're going to be successful because you are from a long lineage of successful people. And then lastly, I know you're going to be successful because there is a level of loyalty that's been assigned to you that no man, woman, or other person can give. So lastly, here's what I would like you to do. Because what we do is we explore, we apply, but then I want you to think. Here's what I want you to think about today. Think about everything that's around you, everyone that is around you that could be a part of your success. You know, we spend so much time talking about our haters and all of the people who are against us. You know, we spend so much time talking about the people who will worry us and who are not for us, that rarely do we spend time thinking about every piece that God has put in place to bring you positive success. Here's what I want you to do today. I want you to think about it. Then after you think about it, write it down. Think about every person that you know, every person you've heard of. Think about every resource that's available. Think about the organizations that are already doing it. Today, take some time and think about how God has already put together everything you need for success. Don't keep looking at the one dot that's on the sheet of white paper and miss all of the white that's around the dot. Because while the dot may appear to be a spot on the paper, there's still more paper than there is dot. Go do it. I know you got to think about that. That's why it's a think point. Go do it. Put a dot on a sheet of paper and hold it up and ask people what they see. The first thing they see is the dot. Why not see all of the white paper? It's more white paper than there is that one dot. And today I want you to know that with everything that's going on around you, don't focus on the negative. Think about the positive. Here's the last example. I know it's been a little long today. A couple days ago, no, it's been a couple weeks ago now. A couple weeks ago, I wanted to take our kids to amusement park, and so I was ready to go. I was going to pay for it. I was going to drive them there. I know my daughter's legs are shorter than ours, so I already knew that there was going to be a time where I was going to pick her up and put her on my shoulders. We were going to the amusement park. But my kids were, I want to go, but they whined. It took too long. They whined about what time we were going. They whined about the drive being so long. Why are we not there yet? And it was amazing because there was almost a place in me where I wanted to just turn around and go back home. You know why? Because everything I had done to set them up for a blessing, everything I had put together to help them enjoy themselves and be amused, all was discredited because they whined and complained about what they didn't have. We weren't moving fast enough. We kept getting stuck at the traffic light. I had to stop by the bank to pick up the money. It was taking too long. I went to make sure that we had sunscreen and everything else that would help us make it through the day. And while I was in the preparation process to get them there, they were complaining about the process of getting them there. And what they didn't know is all they had to do was be willing to go. They weren't going to have to pay for anything. They weren't going to have to drive themselves there. And when they got tired, I planned to carry them. Same thing is true for you. That passion that you're supposed to pursue, if you would just be willing, like Jeremiah was willing, you will discover that God has already laid it out. God is going to provide for you. God is going to get you there. When you fall short, get tired, make a mistake, or just get weary, God will pick you up and carry you. All you have to know today is that God has success for you. God, I thank you so much for another day. I pray even now, Father, that you would create a willingness and a drive in each one of us to just be in the right place so that we can become what you have for us to do. God, even now, with all of the work that we're going to apply to our faith, the one thing we rely most on is your power, your strength, your wisdom. So God, now, carry us. keep us, and most importantly, God, fan the flame of passion that is within us right now. Whoever's listening, whenever they watch, whenever they hear, whenever they see, stoke the embers so that we can rekindle the flame that you place within us. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.